For Halloween, his 3D Workers Island, a short horror story about a screensaver. Okay, so this is the guy that made Petscop. So I'm assuming it just takes you onto a... He said there's no jump scares. There better not be any jump scares. What is 3D WI screen? Discovery pages. It's a freeware screensaver. The full title is 3D Workers Island, but most of us prefer to use the file name pronounced 3D. Whisker. In 3D Workers Island, 6 characters interact on a tiny island with complex, unpredictable results. Every session tells a different story. Many have found it to be compelling on levels both technical and emotional. They've wrote the characters. Oh, I see. I see. It's not a download. It's not a download. Yeah, sorry. I was skipping ahead to try and find the download, but I think it's all just images. Many have found it to be compelling on levels both technical and emotional. T2's Top Software gave it a 10 out of 10 and wrote about the characters. You will find yourself relating to them and understanding them. They may even confound you and anger you at times. The original source of the program is unknown. It was discovered at 3D Screensaver's Palace, one of the many aggregates of screensaver programs appropriated from sources across the internet. The owner of the website, by his own admission, sourced it from a similar screensaver aggregate and could not recall which one. It has not been found. See the history page for a history of 3D's discovery and spread, as well as the development of this site. We recommend trying 3DI yourself by downloading it from the download page. The events that occur are not scripted. They unfold dramatically, and every session is different, meaning that you guaranteed to see things that none of us have seen before. If you discover anything interesting or of importance that has not been recorded, feel free to send us an email or create one. Yeah, see, if I click on anything, it's like... Yeah, it just takes you... Okay, so we download it. Save file to desktop. How do you full screen? I'm gonna full screen here for like maximum immersion. There we go. All right. Wow, that is, bro. You need to fix your internet, bro. That's awful. 16 minutes for 4 megabytes, bro. That's awful. This installation program will install 3D Workers Island. Thank you for installing my program. Press the next button to start the installation. We install. The installation has been completed. If you enjoy, please spread the word online. Also, please consider the text README file. 3D Workers Island screensaver. It's an experimental 3D simulation. Right-click desktop. Choose properties. Screensaver. Preview. I don't understand how this works. Am I downloading something or is it all just images? Because it's giving a bunch of... I think it's just like you're pretending to install something, right? Workers are an approach to computation. 3D Workers Island takes advantage of its resources in the world. So we pick 3D Workers Island. 3D Workers Island. Pat, Rebecca, Joe, Amber, Holland, Grace. Okay, so... Who's this again? That was Joe. Pat, Rebecca, Joe, Amber, Holland, Grace. All right, chat. I'm going to need you to remind me the names here because I'm going to forget them. Can't wait for the new main channel video in 2047. They're Lego characters. Okay, he's watering the plants. And then she comes outside. World. Just want to say that this thing is cool. My eyes are glued to it. I'm mesmerized. I just want to keep... it's on all day and see what the people are up to, but my brother needs his computer for work. What do you think of what's happening in your island today, More Girl? I remember that on forums, you could always put like a little tagline that you had below your name. Yeah, this is 99 as well. Yeah, it's a hidden gem of the internet. It kills that Johnny Castaway thing my uncle thinks is good. This is better. Because the people are like real people that you're watching, and you never know what's going to happen next. I've been dancing and squirming. The baffling games they play with objects, the awkward intimacy that looks like hugging something... and other times, pornographic? What? Agreed. What's happening on your island? Holland just put her face inside a tree. There they all are, chilling. I'm just trying to see if there's anything out of the ordinary. What did she drop? She's got like a doll and then she dropped it in. And then she fell over. Oh, she's just like an actual child, right? Okay. I think it's great, but it's buggy and just weird. My roommate keeps talking about how he could do better. I'd like to see him try. He could even program the turret of our tank game last semester. What an idiot. My ma hates TV, but she tells me to put on the virtual people. I put on 3D WI on the projector, and she squints quietly in a recliner for hours. Peace for me. I like to keep it running in an alcove of my house and check up on it as I'm passing through. It's good for that. It can surprise you sometimes. The other day, I saw Joe take a remote-controlled helicopter out of the house and fly it around. I've never seen that before. I keep hearing the stories about this thing, but so far it's boring. I don't get it. I just want to know what you guys are doing. Because I'm starting up the program and watching it and nothing is happening. The people are standing around, sitting around, looking around, walking around. They don't have faces, so I don't know what they're thinking or feeling. I don't know. What's going on here, guys? Which characters are you talking about? Oh, this is an admin. You know, some people have worked hard enough in their lives and they deserve a rest already. No, but seriously, what do you mean? I see plenty of activity on the island. I do feel a twinge of annoyance when I see a character like Amber sitting around. I want to tell her, hey, you're young, do something. Normal. Actually, it does become entertaining over time. You just have to keep watching. I think you'll be surprised by what you see. But you have to be kind of open to it. You have to be cool. Be cool and things will be shown to you. Personally, I love this screensaver. It's so fucked up. Okay. Oh yeah, she's like spinning around. You see that? She's spun around a little bit. Winner. Okay, nice scam, by the way. Nice scam. 3D Cave. This program goes above and beyond its predecessor by generating its mysterious caves on the fly. 3D Cave 2 has you exploring an infinite realistic cave world and occasionally discovering surprising secrets and treasures. Real and spooky effects will make you wonder what is going on around the corner. Keep watching for long enough and discover every treasure. What will you find? What will happen to this place? Requires a graphic accelerator with OpenGL. Oh my god, holy doom. Holy doom. An island with people walking around on it. So it's like multiple games on like a website. So she's mowing the lawn. And the chef was just sat there not doing anything, which is like a little bit bizarre. What is this strange screensaver you've stumbled upon? The only way you really understand, it works best without words, but I'll give you my best overview. When you start 3D Workers Island, it will display 6 characters in a helpful character card that gives you the name for each one. Afterwards, you'll be placed in front of an island and will mostly remain on that island until you decide to stop the program. The characters are powerful. The characters are powered by a kind of AI technology, and the authors refer to it as worker simulation. It is clear from simple observation that this tech should not be taken lightly, but just how advanced this AI seems to be an ambiguous and controversial question in the community. It's very much a matter of intuition at this point. At the very least, it is good enough to capture the imaginations of many. Whatever is happening under the hood, it is taxing to the PC. The program seems to be fluid in this way. It will use whatever resources are provided to it, but can just make do with any system that is capable of playing 3D graphics. Impressive or not as technology, you will find that this is a program of broad and infinite possibilities. Since retiring last November, I have been keeping 3DWI running on the desk in my study, in my bedroom, my living room, my kitchen, and my basement. All running around the clock as I do my household tasks and live my life. What I see on each of those PCs throughout the day is still continuously fresh and novel to me. It makes my home into a pleasant little world. You will notice the island is quiet. 3DWI does not play audio, unlike what you may find in After Dark products and similar entertainment-based programs, but very much in line with the default package of screensavers in the Windows operating system, much like 3D Maze and Mystify Your Mind. Thank you, Lillian, for the 26 months. It's Lulian. Not Lillian. Thank you, Lillian. The significance of the science is considerable. It allows the island to disappear despite its heft. It's also light. There's also a sense of ghostly transience that none of this is really happening, and it can all vanish with the flick of a mouse. Okay, I think, I don't want to say that like the people on the island are real. I think that's going to be a bit of a cop-out, because the guy that made Petscop is like too smart for that. I feel this is like kind of a meta-narrative on like do things exist when you don't see them, like kind of a Schrodinger's cat? Because it was just saying at the end, like, are they there when you're not looking at them? Okay, so they just talked about something serious, I think. Couldn't see anything else. This is for my son's island project for first grade, which took second place in the contest. I'm proud of him. Okay, I will admit, he mostly plays Pajama Sam while Mom and I built the island. But he did the written part of the assignment himself. Anyway, here are photos. That's adorable. Glad your son's school is teaching him about islands. Your living room is disgusting. Lol. Okay, so, like, internet forum discussion has not changed since 99. It has not changed. There's no gimmick account in here quote tweeting, though, like Twitter, so that's the only thing this is missing. There's no one quote tweeting, your living room is disgusting, saying, oh, hell no, bruh, 7 crying emojis, and then gets more likes. You did a good job with the island. I have some advice. You should not do your son's work for him. Do not let him get used to the idea that you will do his assignments. Take it from a fellow parent. Thanks, appreciate it, but they were expecting parents to help with this one. You should see what the other kids brought in.
Oh yeah, my sissy girl cock is doing squirmies in my diaper.
I am skipping that one. I am skipping that one. I am skipping... Thank you for the $10, though. I appreciate it. My son doesn't like 3D Worker Island one bit. It scares him, and he makes me turn it off. Kids are afraid of everything. My wife and I rented a tape of the Page Master. Oh, no. Bro, have any of you seen the Page Master? The Page Master is actually terrifying. The Page Master's really scary. I remember, like, in the opening of the Page Master, like this kid goes into, like, a library, and it's the same kid from Home Alone, and the entire library melts, like, on top of him. It's terrifying. And then there was like this dragon that like ate him at the end of the film and stuff. Like that film was it was such a good film, but it was terrifying. And unfortunately, we got to the moment where Macaulay Culkin's at the library and gets overtaken and drowned. Oh, I just said this, yeah. And drowned in rivers of paint. And suddenly the tape went nuts and became unreadable. Her niece started screaming. Now she's afraid of getting drowned in paint. I don't blame them, man. Like that film was scary, bro. Terrifying film. I don't blame the people who made that movie for making a terrified Macaulay Culkin character that got drowned. You know what the funny thing is? You know the guy in Succession, one of the sons of like Roy? That's Macaulay Culkin's brother. I didn't even know that. The one that looks most like Macaulay Culkin, that's his brother. But some kids really do think it's possible to get swallowed up into a cartoon prison where they can't escape. And hell, if I believed that, I'd be afraid too. What was that? Okay, that was weird. Did he hit her or something? This happened back in October in detention. They had me sit in the computer lab where I ostensibly wasn't allowed to play on the computers. Lol. But my computer lab teacher was in there upgrading Office and I showed him 3DWI and explained it to him. I swear he was like enchanted by it. He wanted to install it on all the computers, so he installed it on all the computers together while eating donut holes. This is meant to be a kid, right, surely? We had some problems and I had to call my sweet and angelic mummy to tell her why I was still at school, but we eventually got it working after 7 p.m. We turned off the lights and started it going. And started it going on every computer in the room. Yeah, it's because a kid has typed this. It's like, I swear I'm getting like dyslexia just reading it. It was a powerful experience, just like all these different things happening on the island all around us. On glowing screens, in the dark and silent computer lab at night. Way better than 3D pipes. Oh my god, do you remember 3D pipes at school? Okay, that's old head. You guys might not get it. You know ASAT? Remember when we had ASAT, a series of tubes? That is literally 3D pipes. It was like an old Microsoft like screensaver thing. Thank you, MelTF2, for joining. It felt like this was the way that 3DWA was meant to be experienced. I recommend putting this thing on as many screens as you possibly can. Forgive me, I don't know anything. I'm just a 14-year-old teenage kid. What were you in detention for? Lol, dress code violations mainly. I also invented a fake skin disease called Cutilla cune. And I started incorporating it in some of my written assignments in English and history, even when it had nothing to do with anything. Okay, I'll bite. Tell me about Cutilla cune. Yeah, Cutilla cune. I'm glad you asked. Cutilla cune. Skin disease with 4 stages. Stage 0, redness and sensitivity. Stage 1, skin gaps, holes or gaps of various sizes, exposing dermis. Stage 2, skin islands, widespread loss of epidermis, leaving only a number of skin islands of various sizes. Stage 3, recession of the islands, leading to complete loss of epidermis. What I reckon is going to happen is this is gonna happen in his game now. He's made up some random thing, and then it's going to copy that into the game, and everyone on the island's just going to get really sick. Early stages can be treated and reversed, but stage 3 is irreversible. Stage 1, 2, and 3 are consistently rated 10 on the 1 to 10 pain scale. Screaming and hair pulling and despair. Jesus. Yeah, notice how she glitches out. She like glitches out a bit. Yeah. Who's your favorite character? Amber. No question, Amber. Amber's the answer. If I had to choose a favorite, tough one. I'm offended that the question is even being posted. Posed? But I understand you don't know any better. You're better off that way. I know we're not supposed to talk about those topics here, but we can at least be honest when it comes to questions like this. I'm not going to pretend my favorite character is Holland or Grace or somebody else, so things can just stay clean on this forum. Can somebody fill me in on the joke here? What's wrong with the other characters? Amber would be a good choice, and may have been mine, but I'm sometimes put off by her lazy tendencies. Naturally, I would choose Pat, since my coincidence, we share a name, and I believe the 2 children are hers. Another coincidence, as I also have 2 daughters. However, I cannot help but feel attracted to Rebecca with her eye-catching red hair and shoes. It is a difficult question. Amber motherfucker. It's the first time I've seen a Pyro stream. You got an orange message for $0.02. How poor are you? How bad is your economy that you got an orange message that lasts 20 minutes with $0.02? Are you on like some small island that has like 2 people on it and they just sell dirt to like passing boats? What? Okay, she's walking in the ocean. Yeah, the little girl's like proper glitching out. She's tweaking. Oh, she bent down as well. Yeah, they're acting more erratic now, definitely. Computer Philosophy 1, Windows. There are of windows everywhere. We see them, and anyone could be looking in at you. That's a part of what makes them scary. But windows are even scarier when you're the one who looks in them, because we'd never know if you'll see what you'll see in them. Remember the enthusiasm in a market for window into reality in '96 as the Nintendo 64 broke, once law Project Reality. Of course, the TV screen is really a window into fiction and not reality. The only real window of reality is the one we looked into as a baby and still cannot turn from. What called the common story theme of falling into asphalt imagery, we bring inside into the outside. And the outside is the place we are stuck looking. This is the only meaning of I'm trapped in the TV. We find out that reality is the thing we look into. What does this mean? Where are we? This is schizo, bro. This is so hard to read. What happens when something bad you find responsible for... It's like broken English. It's I keep thinking I've got dyslexia, but it's like purposely broken English. They're swapping words around. What happens when something bad you find responsible for is there, and you do nothing to stop it because it looks through a window and is not real? I'm trapped in here and I may never return home. What do we mean? Oh, I see. Like they're escaping from the computer. Island. Edward suck and miss toothpaste. Well, tell me more about that. So I was with my cousin last week for Thanksgiving. Since last year, they live a 3-hour drive away. It got late and he took me down a dark trail and it scared the piss out of me talking about ghosts and murderers. In a quiet moment, I thought I might change the subject, so I started talking about 3DWI, apropos of nothing. Turns out he knew about it, which caught me off guard. Oh, my soy face. It got late and he took me down a... Actually, my country has 50 million people in it. It's just it's a big country, just a bad economy. What is that again? The ARS? What currency is that? Like, that message you sent is 50 ARS, and it's translated into $0.05. That's awful, bro. Oh, it's Argentina? That makes sense. I'm very sorry. That's probably like a week's wages. I don't even mean that. I don't even mean that as a snide. Like, you guys genuinely have one of the worst economies in the world. Like, the inflation situation over there, like, it's even too inflated for me, man. Seriously. And he carried it on with the exact same tone as when he was talking about the torture killers a moment earlier, but now talking about 3DWI. As if telling me about a conspiracy or something, he went on about the girl in the pink shirt and gave me this long list of ominous things to pay attention to in the screensaver. Oh, he's one of the amber shitheads. Those people basically took down that old Discovery Pages website a couple years ago. Ruined a good thing. Yeah? Anyway, when we get back, we watched 3DWI together until 2 a.m. on the slowest, crappiest computer in the world. We watched until suddenly the computer froze completely. But he told me that it wasn't really frozen. That actually 3DWI does that on purpose in order to hide things that aren't happening.
Pyro, please go back to Fear and Hunger if you feel like it. Those streams were funny. Here is $10 to motivate you a bit.
Dude, I just got sent this. Hang on. Hang on. Look at this. Albino tweeted, about to scare my nephew. And he's dressing up as Dr. Disrespect for Halloween. He is dressing up as Dr. Disrespect for Halloween. Why is Stefan such a psycho? Ain't no party like a Beano party. That's crazy. He is such a psychopath. Like, I was gonna dress up as Simon from Cry of Fear for Halloween, and then he ends up one-upping me and doing that. That's crazy. You look like a Finnish terrorist. He's not even Finnish, he's Norwegian as well. Yeah. Just classic albino. He's actually such... I love him. He's such a psychopath. He's such a psychopath. Just played Terraria for 10 hours. Oh, his... Edging for alcoholics. He's actually getting numbers now. He used to, like, not really get that much attention. That's based. Yeah, Stefan's a good boy. Anyway. I don't know. He was making things up on the spot. But I think they still meant something to him. Okay, so I almost don't want to ask you all this, but... people that do that are so cringe, by the way. Stop it. Stop it. Unless you're doing, like, your gay furry roleplay, don't say stuff like that. That's cringe. I keep hearing certain implications about this screensaver that I don't want to repeat here. But you probably know what I'm talking about. I think maybe it's supposed to be a joke, but if so, I don't find it funny at all. Can someone give me some info about this? Turn back now. Don't go any further. Stop! Stop! Is this Reddit? Damn, what's going on here? For your own peace of mind, stop this line of inquiry now and do something else. Don't become another one of us freaks. Okay, this is interesting. Seriously, I wish I can go back to enjoying the screensaver normally. I want to be a normal person again. Please, God, let me forget. There are links that can be provided if you really want them. I can send them to your email, just let me know. I'm no coward. Here's the link. Link removed.
Leather
Go ahead,
belt.
enjoy. Leather belt? Leather frilt? Thank you, my mum, for the 10. Go ahead, enjoy. Yeah, that's not going to last very long. Right, so he's got a link to change the screensaver. There's a chair in the ocean. She's carrying a lamp. Okay, so this is already pretty corrupted, right? The windows of my living room covering... What's this message? Yeah, I'm not showing that on stream. The windows of my living room, covering the walls with the wide views of my front and backyards, fill the room with light during the day and an air of vulnerability during the night. My brother crashes here. He sleeps on the couch against the back windows. Sometimes we sit together, looking out those windows, and tell stories about the house beyond my backyard. A man lives in that house with his 2 sons. The curtains are closed, and we imagine our own childhood replaying itself behind them. It's just a stupid game, really. Making up stories about the neighbor. I think of it as a way to bond over past experiences somehow. We get emotional about it anyway, but not emotional enough to do anything. Because, of course, it's a stupid game. There's no point in worrying about those children based on feelings and intuition alone. Still, we both find that our dreams become vivid with time. Lately, we've grown exhausted of the game, but recently I download 3D Workers Island. I play it on a PC in the corner of my living room. You should check out this program. It's a screensaver, which means it only starts when you aren't using your computer, but when it starts, you're on an island. There are people around you, but they don't do much. Not when they're outside anyway. Naturally, you wonder what they might be doing inside the windowless red house in the background. That's where things start to go wrong. When you start wondering that. And now we begin another game. As in life, concern begets more concern. The reality is always worse than what you think it is. No matter how much you learn, it's always worse. And the only escape is to stop asking, to stop digging, to stop learning. This is your chance to stop. Ooh, okay. I'm intrigued. This is actually pretty scary now. Because obviously you see the people walking outside the house, and then they kind of just go back inside. But this guy wants to know what's going on inside the house, and he's been sent an email just saying, stop, don't do it. Thank you, Kofi, for the 14 months. The preferred resource of all things 3D Workers Island is on the 3DWI Discovery pages created and maintained by Pat Lawler. It covers everything a reasonable person would want to know. You should browse her website first if you haven't already, because it's quite good. But Pat Lawler doesn't see what we see, or chooses not to. I've created a different kind of resource here. I take your sightings and I display them for the benefit of others. Together we play this game the way it's meant to be played. Welcome to my website, Inside 3D Workers Island. Beyond here are themes of violent abuse and torture. Continue if you can handle that. Okay, picks a flower. I removed your link because it breaks the following rule. Do not post links to that website, you know the one. It is nothing more than a collection of perverted creative writing prompts. I would not usually be so strict about something like this, but clearly there are too many people here who cannot stay reasonable and sane while discussing the content of this particular website, so I must make the hard decision of banning it. You can guess what I think about this topic, but let me try to explain the phenomenon occurring here. The fact is, many internet users are children and young adults, and children like to play games. What this means is you will occasionally find yourself unknowingly pulled into the games played by children. On the website, you'll primarily find stories told by kids to scare other kids. You will also find so-called analysis of these stories that treat them as true fact to give them legitimacy. But there is no evidence to be found there. I hope I've cleared things up for you, buddy. Shut up, Pat. Anyway, more links. Holy based. He's like, shut up, bro. Anyways, here's more links. He did the whole big speech here about like how, okay, this is really bad. Like, you're dragging yourself into something really deep here, bro. And then it's just, shut up, mate. Anyway. It's literally just, oh no. Anyways, just spamming links. Good info about John Sorroway, Stories of Reality. Thank you, P. Lawyer. Well said. Those violent stories are cheesy and over the top, blood and guts. Believe me, I've been watching this program for so long. I would have seen such things by now. How long is this, by the way? Because I gotta leave in like 30 minutes. Hang on. I'm checking when I gotta leave. Oh no, I've got an hour. I've got an hour. Yeah, that should be enough to wrap it all up. Yeah, no worries. The screensaver won't open up. Maybe you need to look within yourself to find the problem. Those violent stories are cheesy and over the top, blood and guts. You'd love to think it's all bloody, screaming children. Long before I began seeing the violent shit, I saw the way Amber treated the other islanders. I saw her tiredness. I saw her subtle messages. But you just point at the bleeding children and laugh. All right, then. Why is it always Amber who gets abused and killed in these made-up scenarios? Don't get why this community has an obsession with torturing her specifically. You're all freaks and psychopaths.
I like my cheese drippy, bro. What about you, Spumba?
I like my cheese drippy too, bruh. What about you, Tillamook?
You done? Are you done, Liko? Are you done? Maybe I should create my own section for dealing with 3D Workers Island hoaxes. Snopes.com has a good system. True, false, multiple truth values, undetermined, unclassifiable veracity. I would give every one of these stories the red sphere of falseness. False, false, false. Why is it always Amber who gets abused and killed? Good question. People have a strange amount of concern for Amber. It is a mystery to me. Jesus fucking Christ, that website. The screenshots and pictures on there are insane. Some of them are obviously straight out of Photoshop. Others I don't know. They're all low quality JPEGs for what it's worth. Makes it easy to hide flaws. So there's obviously like, they're saying a lot of like bad stuff happens inside the house. Like there's a lot of like just killing and stuff like that. So that's interesting. Yeah, it's like running on the spot. Yeah, just broken. Inside the house. Welcome to Inside 3DWI. Here you'll find the content missing from P Lawyer's discovery pages. Her website. So apparently there's a woman that's been like compiling everything on a website, but she's purposely left stuff out of context because she doesn't want to like dig too deep herself. Her website should be your source of general information about the screensaver, but come back here when you're done. Pick a category on the left and browse our collection of user-submitted sightings. Download 3DWI and let us know what you find by submitting a sighting. Thanks for visiting and telling us stories. So you got hidden messages, photographs, screams, whispers, glitches, oddities. Screams and whispers are weird because they said that there's no audio like throughout. It's a screensaver. I'm receiving so many emails about this San Ferrario business, though there's too much contention in whether the screenshot of Amber's rare black shirt is real. There's a lot of disagreement about whether the picture on her shirt is really of San Ferraro, since it doesn't exactly match any of the known publicly released photos of him. I've expanded the section to include some of your comments. On the subject of photos, I've removed a user-submitted photo from PJR Pin at the request of its original owner. I'm planning on overhauling category soon, more details to come. I've added a link to Grace's guilt. Great quote. Lucky for the girl, her story became an urban legend. Most people don't believe it really happened, even if they are fascinated anyway. A perfect disappearing act. The real transforming into fiction. Now she lives her disgraceful retirement in the remote world of a cartoon, but reality will haunt her conscience forever. Added some more user submissions to worker degeneration. Added an avalanche of screenshots to strange faces. I can't believe people are walking to the bathroom at night and seeing these things. Making this website has convinced me never to run 3DWI after bedtime. Thank you, P. Lawler. No sounds, no faces. Wrong on both counts. Okay, so there are sounds. There are sounds on the screensaver. Damn, this... I really hope they actually don't show this, because this sounds terrifying. Falling behind on emails. Sorry, everybody, but pray for my brother, because he's been having a hard time lately. He's in the hospital now. Sometimes you've been broken in ways that don't hit you until decades later. I expect my turn to come soon. When that day comes, my brother will be alive to support me, but for now, let's go. Too much reading. Where are the Family Guy clips? Yeah, sorry. I'll do better next time. Oh, they're like clipping into each other. Look at that. That was weird. That was very weird. PJR pin. The PGI pin is one of the first popular sightings that lets PJR stand for Pat, Joe, and Rebecca, 3 characters on the island. When these 3 adults approach Amber in the following formation facing her, it's called the PJR pin. Amber is in the center of the formation. The PGR pin isn't complete unless all 3 adults are close enough to prevent Amber from moving, or in other words, they pin her in place. This is very strict, and the specific requirements are not met often. Formations of this particular shape are uncommon between any 4 characters. When they do form, they're spontaneous and brief. They'll usually reorganize themselves into a more stable circle or diamond like this. Why is it significant? According to the stories, it follows a sequence of events. All 4 characters
Well,
disappear.
pity, you know they ain't the seat on that bike. Is that bike? Oh, yeah, that bike. Do you know they ain't the seat on that bike? SpongeBob.
No way, there ain't no seat on that bike ass.
You know there ain't no seat on that bike, right? You know there ain't no seat on that bike. Why is the pin significant? According to the stories, all 4 characters disappear instantaneously. The world is replaced with darkness. In that darkness appears a photograph of a child enclosed that resembles Amber's pink stripes. She's sometimes injured, sometimes not. An audio clip of a young woman's scream or multiple screams play from the speakers. It's usually interpreted as Amber's voice, but sometimes as the voice of an off-camera witness. The world reappears. Pat, Joe, Rebecca, and Amber reappear at the front door of the house one by one. Amber is the last to appear. No evidence of the event remains. Most accounts miss the first 3 steps. It's only when they hear the screams that they start paying attention to what's happening on screen. 3DWI doesn't officially play audio, but many stories report sounds. They usually describe very loud or very quiet sounds like screams or whispers, with little in between. We have pages of whisper-related sightings, most involving Amber's pleas for help. Much pride is taken in the skill of reorganizing these whispers as quickly as possible, since they often precede other events of which screenshots are desirable. No whispers precede the PJR pin, unfortunately. Photographs are also a common theme of these sightings. 3DWI appears to have a heavy preoccupation with a real world, and in particular with real human bodies, from living and healthy to mangled or emaciated or dead. In this case, even when Amber doesn't display any physical injuries, her transformation into a human body is often interpreted as an act of violence itself. In general, any movement between fiction and reality in either direction is treated with an undertone of error. Descriptions of the photo vary. It may be that people are seeing the same photo and remembering it differently. It's not too hard to believe that a disturbing and sudden scream is shocking people into seeing or remembering injuries that aren't even there. But it's also possible that 3DWI is displaying different photos of the same girl at varying levels of injury, perhaps dependent on the context of the simulation, as Amber's plight has been shown to progress in severity over time. Yeah, this Amber girl's getting it hard, dude. She's getting it hard. Jesus. Who is the girl in the picture? Until we have a legitimate screenshot, we have little to go on. And this has been a proven challenge to capture. Jakey. Jake the Meadow had quite a fright. I'm never running it at night ever again. Holy shit, it woke me the fuck up. I've never been so scared in my entire life. I was asleep and then an ear-splitting scream. What the fuck? P-Lawyer lied to me. Her website says there's no sound on the screensaver. Well, guess what? There's sound, motherfucker. Ashley B heard it too. And caught looking at something. Interesting. She writes, because it was the last thing I'd ever expect to happen in 3DWI, I have to admit I was jolted and shaking for a good hour afterwards. I knew the discovery pages were wrong about the other things, but somehow this thing I trusted, and well, my volume was turned up quite high. It was really something else. I only had the shortest glimpse of the screen before it reverted back to the status quo. It was dark, but I saw a dim shape of a human, realistically proportioned, dressed in pink and white like Amber. A photograph, I think. It wasn't moving. Harold has an uglier description. Ah, it was bad. My God. LOL. I can only laugh now, but I'm done with the screensaver for now. For real this time. I think the one scream repeated 3 or 4 times, or maybe it was more than one scream, and the image was a tasteless display. Yeah, it doesn't show. Okay, so there's they got a laptop out now for some reason. Dude, I feel like I'm gonna get jump scared. Yeah, they're all just like turning around and stuff. But there's a laptop there. That wasn't there before. It's getting worse and worse. The more I watch, the more I notice, the more I understand, the more bold it becomes. With the things it shows me, every time I come to some new revelation, the screensaver shows me more. But most other people don't see these things. If I have someone in the room with me, they don't happen. Are you telling me P Lawyer, with the 10 billion hours she's been watching 3DWI, hasn't seen any of these things? Getting dangerous in here, lol. Pat Lawyer is a criminal. I have a family member who used to live down the street from her. Nobody in their right mind would trust Pat Lawler. Pat Lawler shouldn't be allowed to run a 3D Workers Island fan website. She should be in prison. Isn't this the kid? Anyone who wants details is free to message me. I'm GoodKid85 on AIM. God damn good kid. Ha ha ha. And he's banned. That was fast. Oh, he got banned. Unlucky. Unlucky. Actually banned. P. Lawler is always offline. She reads every post the second you submit it. You cannot evade her. Alright, so she's on the computer now. Oh, what's that? Okay. That was weird. She went behind the house as well. Thank you, 8-Bit Cat, for the 10. What are you watching or playing? The guy that made Petscop, he's done like a new ARG. I'm just going over it. Good kid, Mad City. Shut up. That's why I stuttered. I got scared. I've decided to stop posting new submissions on this page. This is one of the most well-documented sightings I've seen at this point. I'm receiving mostly redundant info. Thanks for everything you've sent in. Worker degradation is something akin to injury or damage. This damage is associated with an active entity, which 3DWI calls a worker, hence the name of this page. It's not clear to me how this term came about, but it wasn't invented by 3DWI authors. Yet it implies a bit of knowledge about the screensaver's internals. The injury is associated in some fundamental way with the underlying worker concept. This is especially strange since the only documented case of worker degradation is tied to one character, that being Amber. Therefore, it seems premature to generalize this term in such an extent, but I'll use the established name. If you've ever seen a red Amber, you've seen worker degradation. Yeah, she's like red there. This is an early stage. After this comes compression. The results look like this. The red ball is seemingly inert. It doesn't move or interact with anything. But yes, the red ball is amber. The state has been interpreted as representing dehydration, malnutrition, or mutilation. And the many photographic sightings seem to confirm all these interpretations equally. But most of all, it's become associated with small, muffled screaming, and therefore with pain. It doesn't take long for this red ball to start shrinking and quieting down. Sooner or later, it can't be seen or heard by anyone. Amber will usually respawn from the house sometime after compression, even while the red ball is still visible. The program will eventually continue as normal. Falling into asphalt tells us a story. Letting the screensaver go longer periods has unlocked something, and all I'm seeing are all sorts of funny shit, like a red Amber. She goes in the house, comes out redder, goes behind the house, comes back redder, comes back redder again, comes back weird and slow, crawls around until pop, she's just a red ball on the ground that everyone ignores, and that's that. Nathan Manfield kept the screensaver running all day. I went away for 8 hours, and when I got back, there was a bunch of red spheres scattered around making noises. Altogether, it sounded like a chorus of dissonant humming. Now I'm wondering just how long my dog had to listen to that shit. This is one from Thomas. How many of them are sitting at the bottom of the ocean? I just can't help but feel hopeless about everything. Nobody will ever help me. I'll never help myself. I'm too afraid to even reach out. I'm not even writing this right now. This message exists only in my head. This whole website exists only in my head. 3D Workers Island? What is this? Would I really put this online? Would I really give anyone the slightest glimpse of my world? This is fake. This is all fake. Nobody will see it. Thomas, I hear you and I understand. Suffering in silence is such hard work. All in Lahead? I don't know about All in Lahead. Alright, so she's there chilling by the beach. Oh. What the hell is this? Recession of the Islands. Ah, so those are all the people on the island. They got shrunk and then they just... So that recession did happen. That kid, that random little kid that made up that disease in his head, like that basically contaminated the game. Oh, it actually just all shrinks. 3D Workers Island, a thing by Tony D'Amico. That's it. That's it. That's the whole thing. So yeah, like the island basically just shrunk down. It recessed. And then the whole game basically corrupted and closed down. I thought that was cool. I enjoyed that. It was kind of meh. Nah, I enjoyed it. I think it was good. It was like, the thing is about the guy that made Petscop and that, he's like really, really good at building tension. Like insanely good at building tension. Like, I'm happy there was no jump scare as a payoff. I was very worried about that.